Welcome to another edition of Our City. Please, I'd like to remind all the residents, or you can visit our social media accounts. If you need any information on COVID testing or the vaccine, you can go to elizabethnjvaccine.org, call our public information office at 908-820-4124. While the virus is clearly subsided, it is still with us, so personal responsibility is most important. So this week, our show is based on the Leprechaun Run, which is something new here in the city of Elizabeth. The Elizabeth police officers have organized a Leprechaun Run. I think it's going to replace the Jingle Bell Run that was in December. So we're moving in that direction. I think it's going to be on March 5th. But here to talk about it is Police Officer Matthew Hopkins and Police Officer Michael Cowen. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
So first, tell us a little about yourself. Mike, how long are you on the job?
I've been on the job 8 years here with Elizabeth, born and raised in the city of Elizabeth, and I'm currently assigned to the patrol division.
Good. Matt?
Matthew Hopkins. I'm 15 years in law enforcement, previous 8 years in Elizabeth. Before that, I was in Roselle Park. Before that, I was in the Union County Sheriff's Department. Currently assigned to the traffic division, also a member of the PBA board as a trustee.
So the Leprechaun Run, in my opening comments, I said it is replacing the Jingle Bell Run. Is that true, or are we trying to do two, or what's going on?
We're doing, the PBA is doing the Leprechaun Run to raise money for the PAL. Over the past few years, I know there was some fundraising issues with the girls who are cheerleading that were going to Florida, and with the summer camp with the kids, the PAL came back, asked officers for donations. So we're trying to do a run so we can raise funds for them. So the PBA is concentrating their efforts for the Leprechaun Run.
So Mike, who came up with this idea? You, Matt, somebody else?
I'm going to have to pass it on to Matt on this one. He came up with the idea for this one.
I know throughout the year there's different runs. There's a lot of turkey trots, a lot of 4th of July firecracker runs. So I was trying to go in a direction of doing a different type of a run, hopefully less competition that's out there with other runs that are going on. So Leprechaun Run, it's a good way to kick off the St. Patrick's season. I know St. Patrick's Day is only one day, but throughout the month there's a lot of parades and other activities throughout the Irish community for St. Patrick's. So just want to keep a little bit of Irish tradition going, myself being Irish.
You're Irish too, Mike?
I am.
Okay. What's your role? Tell us the date, the time, when's this happening?
It's going to be Sunday, March 5th. Check-in will start at 7 o'clock in the morning. The event's taking place in Warinanco Park. Check-in will be right outside the Sports Center in Warinanco Park. 8:30 is kickoff for the race, and then we'll go from there. So
how many runners do you expect to have?
We're hoping for between 150 and 200.
And is there a registration online?
Yes.
How do you sign up for this?
So the only way to sign up is through our website that was created, www.raceforum.com/EPD5K-run. Right on there you can sign up for the run. There is also an option for a walk. If you'd like to walk instead of run, you can go on there as well. If you sign up online before the day of, it's $35 to register, or you can come on the day of and it's $40.
Okay, so you can register the day of.
Yes, but it'll be in person, which will still be on the computer. We're gonna have computers there to register.
Okay. And Matt, is there a rain date for this event?
No, there's no rain date. Obviously, like I said, there's other Irish festivities throughout the month. I know Union County St. Patrick's Day parade's the following Saturday.
Nobody's going to be in any shape to run after that day, right?
No.
So the PBA's always got a good contingent marching in the parade.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys run or walk? What do you do? Because if I'm there, I'm walking. So do you guys run?
We're going to be behind the scenes.
You're in charge.
Running the show, yeah.
So you don't have to run, right, Mike?
No.
How about you, Matt?
For this event, I'm behind the scenes. I have run in the past. I did the Marine Corps Marathon in the past. I did the Belmar 5-mile run a few times, the Jersey City Half Marathon. I used to run more as I'm getting older, not as much.
Too much wear and tear on the knees?
On the hip and back.
The head says yes, but the legs say no, right? So $45 at the day of the event? That gets
40 the day of, 35 anytime before.
Okay. And the proceeds are going to go to the PAL. We're going to have them on for the second half. Tell us a little bit about the proceeds. And I know I got hit up for the cheerleaders as well. They won a competition.
The cheerleaders went to Florida a few months ago for a competition, and they actually won a national championship. That's where, obviously, hopefully, through their fundraising, we'd help offset some of the costs through their fundraising. I know the PAL does a summer camp with the kids. They have a Pop Warner football and also a wrestling program throughout the PAL.
Everybody always worries about the boys, right? And they forget about the girls when they start to compete.
Exactly.
It's important to give them the same support as well.
100%.
So who wants to talk about the route? Is it through the park? Is it outside the park?
It's going to be throughout the park. It's going to be a combination of the roadway and also the bike path that goes around the park. So it's going to be, half of it will be in the roadway, and then once you get to a certain point, you're going to go up the bike path, come back around, and right back to the starting line again, and we're going to go back around, but halfway.
Halfway. Mm-hmm. So that gets you 5K. 5K. You guys mapped it all out and everything. Is this sanctioned? They have that sanctioned stuff with it?
It is a certified race by the US ATF. A course, I guess, a gentleman that comes out, certifies courses, came out, was riding a bike with a little tectometer on it. And I was behind him with a patrol car, showing him the whole route. He's mapping it out, so it's 3.1, I think 1.5 miles to make it to 5K. So he came out, certified it, and certified 5K.
And so there'll be runners. How many walkers do you think will show up?
I think there'll be a good amount of walkers. I was already asked if people were allowed to bring their dogs with them to walk, and absolutely we can encourage that if you want to bring your dogs, your families. But we believe we're going to get a good amount of walkers as well.
Oh, good. So the agenda for the day, is there any other games or anything for the kids, or any pre-racing or for little kids, or it's just, what are we doing? Just speeches and kick off the race? No speeches, just national anthem?
Kick off the race, to give some speeches. After the race, come back to the sports center, the hockey rink in the cafeteria area. There's going to be light refreshments provided, some awards. There's going to be a DJ playing some music. There's also going to be a bagpiper outside playing music as people go around the park. This is our first year of the run. We want to increase the activities we have, maybe a 100-yard dash or a little smaller run for the kids. But just trying to get the participants this year, getting everything started, and then as the years go on, trying to incorporate more different activities into it.
So the goal of you two gentlemen is to try to continue this year in and year out?
Yes, sir.
And for some reason, my notes have costumes. Are costumes welcome? People wearing costumes? What's going on with that?
There may or may not be a leprechaun appearance during the run. But absolutely, costumes are encouraged. If you'd like to dress up, by all means. It'll be a fun day for everyone.
Yeah, I'm not going to dress up if it's all right. Yeah, it's just going to walk. You guys dressing up? You don't know who the leprechaun is yet?
We can't really say.
Well, Officer Cowen, Officer Hopkins, I thank you both for taking the time to join me in the show. Also, I want to wish you well in raising money, especially for the young ladies of the PAL, as sometimes they're often forgotten. So appreciate this opportunity and look forward to joining you that day. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
For Officer Cowen and Officer Hopkins, please stay with us, where I'm going to be joined by Officer Jackson and Officer Ciano talking about the PAL, which hopefully is going to be a beneficiary of this Leprechaun Run scheduled on March 5th at Warinanco Park. Registration begins at 7:30 in the morning. Stay with us for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of this evening's show, Our City. I'm pleased to be joined by Officer Anthony Jackson and Officer Eric Ciano. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you.
Thank you.
So first, tell me a little bit how long you're on the job, where you're assigned. Go with you first, Anthony.
All right. My name is Officer Anthony Jackson. I've been with the Elizabeth Police Department for 8 years now, and I've signed to the Community Affairs Bureau.
I'm Officer Eric Ciano. I've been on since 2010, and I'm now working in our Community Affairs Bureau.
So are the two of you involved in the PAL?
Yes. Actually coach football for the PAL and oversee the summer camp as well as a few other programs we run.
Eric, you're involved or no?
Involved, yeah, doing a lot of more back behind the scenes work.
So what is the PAL? I mean, a lot of people hear PAL forever. It's been around, it's got to be 50, 60 years, but what is it?
It's the Police Activities League. It's the Police
Athletic League.
Athletic League.
Yeah, so they changed it a little bit now. I think it's called the Police Athletic and Activities League.
Because there's other things going on besides
Right.
For other things.
Not just athletics, which if we go by our summer camp and a couple other things that we do, it shows in that. More community work.
Is there a president of the PAL or a chairman? Or how's that work?
Latif Banks, who is one of our officers, is the president currently.
Currently the president of the
Yeah.
PAL. That's good. The earlier gentleman on the show talked about the Leprechaun Run and the money they're going to raise is going towards the PAL. And they specifically mentioned the cheerleaders. Have they been shortchanged in competition because all the focus goes to the boys a lot?
I think it's more so because there's more girls than boys. We have close to 100 cheerleaders, and going to Orlando every year, they win national championships. It's just a lot of money to get them down there. But money also goes to our summer camp and other activities as well. So
I've been at the summer camp at the Todd Bowles Field, and those kids seem to really enjoy the things going on there.
it's a good time. They do sports activities. We have all types of law enforcement departments come and talk and interact with them. You have the FBI come, state police, our fire department in Elizabeth, the New York City Fire Department brings their boats. They do K-9 presentations from the sheriff's department. They're interacting with all different types of police, and it's good
So
for
is the
them.
Police Athletic League, do lay people become involved in it, or is it strictly officers?
No, we have volunteers. It's a few officers. Any officers that want to volunteer are more than welcome to come to any activities we're doing. But summer camp is, I would say, we have about 10 officers who are dedicated to it.
And then a few volunteers.
Cheers,
There were
as well.
interns that come out and also assist the officers. I think there's about 10 officers. We have looking at almost over 50 kids for this year, ages 9 to 13. So to have that many kids and to have them just surrounded by officers, and you get to kind of see them outside of their officer role, I'd like to think of it more, less of a camp and like a babysitting, and it's, enriching. It's an enrichment program.
So is that the program that my daughter worked in during the summer?
Yes, she did, and she was one of the favorites. She was a crowd favorite for the kids.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
So when we met together at Jerry's Hot Dogs and Tommy's Hot Dogs for National Hot Dog Day, you brought all the kids there. That's the summer program you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
same program, and going on at the same time, we also had our police academy, our junior academy going on at the same time. So we had a couple more kids than we're actually looking after and hanging out with down at Todd Bowles. But it's a great program, and it seems like it's going to be growing every year.
So do any kids come back and say, they get to be 15 or 16 and say, oh, sorry, you're too old?
The idea is that we have something for each age group as they go through and as they are able to interact with us in a different way. As a kid, it's cool. We get to have them as like real little. What's the youngest program we have?
We have kids from ages 5 to 15. So once they get to high school, they're still around. They're still coming back. Some of them are coming back to coach the younger kids as far as, cheerleading, football. So, we have kids who come back, though.
Yeah, we have them start off at a young age, and if they grow out of one program, they're usually eligible for the next program. Or if they've been through one program and maybe want to see what the next program holds for them.
So besides, we talked about football and cheerleading. What are some of the other activities that the PAL accomplished this year?
Wrestling. We started wrestling on January 23rd. So we've had about 30 kids sign up already, and then about another 20 called last week when we did a blast on our Instagram page. So we're starting to build that big. That's held at Edison High School.
It's held at Edison?
Yes.
Who teaches you guys wrestle? Or
We have wrestling coaches who.
You do?
Yeah, we have wrestling coaches.
Either one
who
of you
wrestle.
guys wrestle? In high
Nah, we didn't
No.
wrestle.
Nope.
Leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, there's technique to that.
There's a little technique.
What else? What else besides wrestling, cheerleading, football?
So right now we have cheerleading, wrestling, football, and
We're
Eric's been
we're
looking to expand some
into a couple
ideas.
Other sports, possibly swimming or maybe something that hasn't been offered here in a while, or something like lacrosse. Or if we can get the right coaches and if we can get the right staffing for it, and the right interest in the community.
What's coming up this year? The new stuff. Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, we got to get wrestling off the ground, with some force.
Yeah.
So we're gonna focus on that first.
Strictly boys wrestling?
No, boys and girls.
Oh, there is?
Ages 5 to 15. So they can come out. We're planning a tournament for April with wrestling, and then starting to focus on camp. Try to get that planned early.
And when's the camp run from?
This year, it's going to be run from July 10th to the 27th, I believe.
Of July.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks of July.
And do they sign up, or they just kind of show up at Todd Bowles?
Oh, no, they sign up. We have application process. We usually post the application on our website, elizabethpal.org, or they can come into headquarters and get an application any day of the week.
So I want to thank the two of you for taking the time to join on the show, and especially appreciate your work with the PAL. I hope it goes well and look forward to seeing you there again this summer.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
gonna be an exciting year.
For Officer Anthony Jackson and Officer Eric Ciano and Officer Hopkins and Officer Cowen on the first part of the show, I thank these gentlemen for their work with the young people of our city, and please stay with us, and I'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.